Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. No arguments, no explanations, no desperate words trying to make someone understand you. Just pure, calm, unshaken silence. Because in that silence there lives a strength that most people will never understand. The world teaches you to speak louder, to prove your worth, to always respond. But what if true power comes when you stop doing all that and simply observe, withdraw, and choose stillness over struggle? You see, silence isn't the absence of action. It's the highest form of emotional intelligence. It's the moment when you rise above the noise, not because you don't care, but because you finally realize your energy is sacred. It's the moment when you stop fighting for attention and start demanding respect, not through words, but through presence. The silent ones aren't weak. They are often the most dangerous because they watch, they understand, and they never reveal their next move. This video is not just about being quiet. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about understanding the magnetic force that lives inside your silence and how using it correctly can transform your relationships, your peace of mind, and the way people treat you forever. So stay with me all the way to the end, because once you learn these 5 deeply powerful truths, you'll never see silence the same way again. And more importantly, the world will never see you the same way again either. Number 1. Silence builds mystery and magnetism. In relationships, conversations, and even power dynamics, mystery is magnetic. And mystery begins where constant talking ends. When you're always explaining yourself, always sharing every emotion or plan, you become predictable. Predictability leads to comfort, but it rarely leads to obsession or intrigue. On the other hand, silence makes people wonder, what is he thinking? Why isn't she reacting? What does he know that I don't? This curiosity is the spark of attention, and when someone is curious about you, they start investing emotionally. Psychologically, we chase what we can't fully understand. We chase depth, and silence is a signal of that depth. It implies that you don't need validation through words. You're content within yourself. That's incredibly rare in today's hyper-expressive world. But it's not just about romantic mystery. In business too, silent individuals often hold more power. Why? Because they appear more composed, harder to read, and harder to manipulate. The quiet man in the boardroom isn't disengaged. He's absorbing, watching. And when he finally speaks, everyone listens, because they know his words come from thought, not impulse. This magnetic pull extends to friendships, leadership, even family dynamics. When people can't fully grasp your inner world, they treat you with more care, curiosity, and respect. They don't take your presence lightly. And this is how silence silently builds influence, not by force, but by mystery. Number 2. Silence demonstrates emotional control. True emotional maturity isn't about expressing every feeling. It's about knowing which feelings deserve expression and which deserve silence. When someone insults you, provokes you, or tests your limits, your silence can be louder than any retort. It screams self-control. Why is that powerful? Because most people are slaves to their emotions. They react immediately. Anger, jealousy, insecurity. They all rush to the surface and spill out through words. But those who master silence, especially in emotionally charged moments, stand apart. They don't suppress their feelings. They process them before expressing. Imagine someone trying to bait you into an argument. You remain calm, composed and silent. They expect a reaction and receive none. Who holds the power now? You do. Because your silence sends a clear message. You don't have control over my state of mind. This type of emotional control builds immense respect. In romantic relationships especially, emotional silence during conflict, not stonewalling, but intentional quiet, creates space for healing. It stops the endless cycle of reaction versus reaction. When you go silent, you give your partner time to reflect, and you also guard your own peace. Even internally, silence helps you regulate your thoughts. Instead of speaking from a wounded place, you listen to your inner voice. That's when real wisdom arises. Silence isn't the absence of emotion, it's the gatekeeper of it. And when you protect your emotional energy, you make smarter decisions, attract calmer people, and live more freely. Number 3. Silence helps you observe and understand. People often assume that silence means disconnection, but that couldn't be more wrong. True silence connects you deeper to everything around you. When you stop speaking and start observing, a hidden world opens up. You notice micro-expressions, pauses in conversation, emotional shifts. You begin hearing what's not being said, and that's where the truth lives. In communication, the silent listener is often the wisest. While others rush to speak, the quiet one listens with purpose. They are present, and in their presence, others reveal more. Because silence is safe. It's not judging. It's not interrupting. It's not reacting. That makes people open up, sometimes without even realizing it. In relationships, this ability to observe without speaking gives you an emotional blueprint. You understand people at their core, not just from their words, but from their patterns, energy and choices. And once you understand someone deeply, you hold power, not to manipulate, but to lead with compassion or detach wisely. In social groups or professional settings, those who observe more usually lead. In social groups or professional settings, those who observe more usually lead better. Why? Because they see the bigger picture. While others are distracted by drama or ego, the silent observer picks up on tensions, alliances, insecurities, and power shifts. This kind of awareness cannot be gained through constant talking. It's earned in the quiet. Silence is also the foundation of wisdom. Every wise thinker, from the Stoics to Eastern monks, practiced some form of silent reflection, because only in silence do our thoughts untangle. When you're silent, your mind slows down enough to truly process what you're experiencing and not just react to it. You see patterns in people's behavior, in your own mistakes, and in life's hidden lessons. And once you understand deeply, you begin to respond instead of react. You know which battles are worth fighting. You know when to walk away. You know who's genuine and who's faking. All of this clarity comes not from noise, but from listening. And the most powerful listening starts with silence. Number 4. Silence protects your energy and dignity. In a world that constantly demands your attention, opinion, and reaction, silence is a shield. It's how you protect your energy from being drained by every little distraction or confrontation. Every time you speak, you're giving a piece of your energy away. And not every moment, person, or situation deserves that. Let's be real. People will test you. They will say things to provoke, manipulate, or control you. When you engage in every argument or justify yourself to every accusation, you hand your peace over to them. But when you remain silent, especially when falsely judged or provoked, you take a stand, not by fighting, but by refusing to be pulled into chaos. Your silence says, "I value my peace more than your approval." That's not weakness, that's dignity. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth and doesn't need to explain it to anyone. This also applies to romantic relationships. When you're constantly available to talk, argue, or defend yourself, you become emotionally accessible in ways that can be exploited. But when you withdraw and stay silent, not as a game, but as a boundary, you reclaim your value. You show the other person that your presence is a privilege, not a given. Silence allows you to choose when and how you give your emotional energy. You don't owe anyone your voice if it costs you your calm. And the more you protect your dignity with silence, the more people start approaching you with respect, not entitlement. There's also a healing power in silence. It's where your thoughts get sorted, your wounds begin to close, and your next step becomes clear. So next time someone pushes you to react, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? If the answer is no, choose silence. Protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Number 5. Silence makes your words more powerful. One of the most misunderstood truths in communication is this: the more you talk, the less weight your words carry. Constant chatter weakens your voice. But silence, strategic, intentional silence, gives your words gravity. Think of the people you admire, the leaders, mentors, or even spiritual figures. They don't speak constantly, they choose their words carefully, and when they do speak, people listen. Not because of the volume, but because of the silence that came before. That pause builds anticipation. It tells the listener, what I'm about to say matters. In relationships, this is especially powerful. When you're silent for a while, especially during tension or distance, and then choose to speak, your words can carry healing, wisdom, or finality. You're not just reacting, you're delivering insight or clarity that was earned in your quiet reflection. Even in attraction dynamics, silence increases desire. If you're always texting, always calling, always expressing, you become emotionally predictable. But when you pause, when you go quiet, it gives space for the other person to feel your absence. And absence creates value. It makes your next word, your next message, your next action feel significant. There's also an energetic shift that happens when you speak less. People start leaning in. They give you more space to speak when you do. You become someone of few words, but meaningful ones. That's influence. That's power. And on a deeper spiritual level, when you embrace silence, your inner voice becomes clearer. You stop echoing the noise of the world and start expressing truth from within. That's when your words become transformational, not just informational. So, speak less, but when you do, make it count. Let your silence prepare the stage, and let your voice deliver the wisdom. Because when silence precedes speech, the world leans in to listen. In a noisy world, silence is rebellion. It's elegance, it's strength. Silence doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've learned that not everything deserves your energy. So the next time you're tempted to over-explain, defend or chase, pause, breathe, be still. Because in that stillness you reclaim your power. And when you master silence, you don't need to demand respect. People offer it. You don't need to chase anything. What's meant for you is drawn to your peace. If you found power in this message, make sure to subscribe, give a like, and share this with someone who needs to remember the strength of silence. Let the world speak. You stay calm and watch how everything starts coming to you.